The Pareto principle relates to business in the sense that 80% of worker productivity comes from 20% of employees. 80% of sales come from 20% of customers, and 80% of products sold come from 20% of the products offered. You can apply the Pareto principle to your business by focusing on the 20% that is actually helping you rather than the 80% that isn't doing much. For example, instead of focusing on the 80% of salespeople who are barely making their sales goals, focus on the 20% that are doing well and help them achieve even better results. Another example, instead of trying to sell and promote 80% of the products that don't sell well, spend time marketing the 20% of products that are actually adding to your revenue. The principle also relates to workers and employees because in most businesses, only 20% of employees cause 80% of the problems in the workplace.
Hi, I'm Jim with group number 4. In this video, I will share the common economic ideal in which the Pareto 80-20 principle was founded upon. First, a quick review. The Pareto principle suggests where two related data sets or groups represent cause and effect or input and output, 80% of output is produced by 20% of input. The precise ratio may differ from 80-20 depending upon the situation, but the Pareto principle will apply nonetheless. The Pareto 80-20 rule is most commonly used in organizational and business management. However, its author, Professor Pareto, founded the theory while studying macroeconomic wealth distribution in England during the late 19th century. In his study, Pareto noted that 20% of the English citizenry owned 80% of the wealth, and with that, the Pareto 80-20 rule was born. The Pareto principle continues to bring swift and easy clarity to situations and problems, especially when deciding where to focus efforts and resources.
The Pareto principle has an infinite amount of applications, including teamwork. I'm sure that most of you have already experienced the 80-20 rule this semester. A few examples of this may be, a majority of the work is done by only a few team members, or a bulk percentage of time is consumed by certain processes. For instance, it may take a week to coordinate activities, exchange information, create a meeting time, delegate responsibilities, but only a few hours to complete tasks. The fact remains that in the distance learning program, meeting face-to-face isn't always feasible. This creates a challenge and makes the Pareto principle even more evident. The key is to understand that this rule simply implies irregular distribution and will be encountered several more times during this semester. To conclude, the Belbman inventory taught us that there are many roles and responsibilities within teams. It is highly likely that your team will be unbalanced. It is useful to assess weaknesses, areas of conflict, and missing strengths. That way, you can look to improve your team through adopting new roles or bringing in new members with different skill sets.